Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chloe from 8 Hub.
And I'm Cynthia from 18.
Tonight is a really special night. Two teams will be competing against each other.
The winning team will earn a free education trip to the UK this summer. Chloe, what are the teams?
In Team 1, we have Libby, Mina, Kevin, Sean, Peko, Elsa, Zoe, and Mia.
And in Team 2, we have Benny, Jackie, Eva, Ray Ray, Nancy, Avril, Colin, and Justin.
Wow, both teams seem to be really excited.
You bet. Now, let's welcome the first team who will introduce the history of the UK, landmark, customs, and food.
Hello everyone, I'm Libby from 18.
And I'm Mina from 18.
Today we're going to talk about the history of England. Hey Mina, do you know which is the longest war ever in the history?
It was the 100-year war from 1337 to 1453. King Philip IV of France, who died in 1314, had 3 sons that could have been the heir, but they all died too.
He had a grandson, Edward III, who was the king of England.
France wouldn't allow England to succeed the throne, hence why Philip's nephew was the next in line.
But Edward III never gave up. He wanted to be the king of France. This is what led to the war.
Alas, France won. After that, England turned their attention elsewhere in order to develop and become the world's largest empire.
By the way, Mina, who do you think was the greatest queen?
That would definitely have been Elizabeth I. She never got married her whole life and therefore was known as the Virgin Queen.
Her motto was Fidia et Taci, which translates to I see and I say nothing in English. She had got her mother's beauty and her father's wisdom. Since she was so perfect, she also went by the name Gloriana or Good Queen Beth.
She led the English army to defeat the Armada Invincible from Germany. After that, England's marine grew in power.
Talking about Elizabeth I made me think of the fun fact about Elizabeth II.
What is it?
Elizabeth II had a corgi called Susan. She really loved it. She even brought it with her on her honeymoon.
Wow, that's really cool. Hey, did you know who Elizabeth II, the current Queen of England's great-great-grandmother was?
Was it Elizabeth I?
No, it was Victoria I. Victoria was the Queen of England and the Empress of India. During the Victorian age, there was a famous murderer known as Jack the Ripper.
I know about him. He killed 5 women in total. Jack the Ripper didn't just snap up life with a knife. He mutilated and disemboweled them. His crimes seemed to portray a dislike to the entire female gender.
He wrote letters to the police after he killed his victims. Jack the Ripper's murder suddenly stopped in the fall of 1888. No one knew who he really was, not even till this day.
He was so scary. Let's talk about something interesting now. In 1811, nearly a quarter of women were called Mary.
Hey, this reminded me of Mary I. Mary was the first female leader of England. She was a devout Catholic believer and burned about 300 people who didn't follow her religion. This gave her the name Bloody Mary.
Do you know why the Big Ben is called the Big Ben? There are 2 things. The first is because one of the people who built it was called Sir Benjamin Count. The second is because in the 19th century, there was a famous boxer called Benjamin Count, so we use his name for the clock.
The whole tower isn't actually called Big Ben. Why is that?
Let's welcome Sean and Kevin. They'll tell us more about it, along with other famous landmarks in England.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean from 18.
And I'm Kevin from 18. According to what Vicky and Nina say, Big Ben is just the nickname of a bell that hangs in the clock tower at the northern end of the Houses of Parliament in Westminster. People also call the tower Big Ben because it is very large. Officially, the tower itself is called Elizabeth Tower. It was previously known as just a clock tower, but was renamed in September 2012 as a gift to the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II.
The clock took 13 years to build and was completed in 1859. It is one of England's best-known landmarks. The Elizabeth Tower has become one of the most important symbols of the United Kingdom and can be often seen in film sets in London.
The second place we recommend is Tower Bridge. Many tourists go there and take some pictures. Tower Bridge crosses the River Thames near the Tower of London. What's cool about the bridge is that it can move. This allows ships to pass. Tower Bridge is far more visible than London Bridge, which people often mistake it for. After you go to Tower Bridge, you can go to visit the Tower of London. It is an historic castle located on North Bank in central London.
The third place we would like to recommend is the British Museum. It is one of the world's biggest and most important museums of human culture and history. It has 7 million objects from all 7 continents. There, you can learn of evolution along with many amazing things. The best part is that it is all for free. It was set up in 1753 and was opened in 1759. It has gradually grown over the past 200 years. It has 6 million visitors per year and has become the third popular museum in the world.
The last place we recommend is Cambridge. Cambridge is an iconic English city offering the country's best universities, parks, museums, and theatrical productions. It is known for its friendly people, academia, and great entertainment.
When you go there, you can also visit the market square. Although the market isn't really big, but you can buy many things over there, such as souvenirs and many kinds of food. You can also visit the colleges, such as King's College and Trinity College. Besides visiting landmarks, you can also learn many special customs by observing what local people do. Let's welcome Elsa and Peko to tell us some special customs.
Hello everyone, I'm Peko from AP and I'm Elsa from AP.
Hey Elsa, how have you been?
I'm fine, thank you, and you?
I'm great. Let's focus on the culture and the traditions in the UK.
When you are sending flowers to a British woman, do not send them lilies or chrysanthemums.
That's weird. Lilies are white, and I think white means pure. I think lilies make a great gift. Why can't we give them lilies as a gift?
Yes, I agree with you, but in England, lilies and chrysanthemums is a symbol of death. I think no one wants to get something about death, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's really interesting.
What do you call a person who has a British nationality?
British for sure, isn't it?
Do you know it is forbidden to call all British British?
Really? Why?
They are more preferred to be called Englanders or Bren.
So it is really important to know the taboos in different countries. Remember to do some research before you go to that country.
Now let's focus at their local festival.
One of the most famous local festivals, which actually comes from Ireland, is St. Patrick's Day. It is a religious and cultural celebration held on March 17th.
On St. Patrick's Day, people wear green clothes and shamrocks.
Wow, sounds great. There are also a lot of manners that go with many festivals where food is involved. Let's talk about this as we know British really care about the manners.
Yes, you are right. Table manners are very complicated, and they are something you must know.
It would be very embarrassing when you travel to UK and know nothing about it.
First, always hold your knife on your right hand and fork on your left hand. Second, do not put your elbows on your table. Third, do not speak when there are food in your mouth. And last, place the coffee in the middle of the plate to inform that the waiter and host that you are finished eating.
We hope that you will all follow and respect the culture in the UK. Thank you for listening.
I'm Zoe from ACO.
I'm Mia from ACO.
Today, I want to introduce some English delicious and traditional food.
One of the most famous ones is fish and chips. It is a hot dish consisting of fried fish in batter service chips, which we know as French fries.
Fish and chips is a common takeaway food in the United Kingdom. The shop usually serves them in a convenient container. Besides it, I can't think of anything more delicious that comes from England.
Well, there's another very famous dish called shepherd's pie. If you love meat, then the shepherd's pie is the dish for you. Although one can practice one's table manners when eating takeout fish and chips, the shepherd's pie is always only served in restaurants.
It usually prepared in veal stock and layered of mashed potato with melty cheese placed over before being baked. I have tried it once before, and I really recommend everyone try it at least once.
I really love potatoes and meat. When I go to a Western country, I always order steak with mashed potatoes. Since we mentioned about meat dishes, that reminds me of a special dish in England called Yorkshire pudding.
It usually prepared with egg, milk, flour, and gravy sauce. I know that's weird that pudding isn't sweet, but my friend said it tastes great.
Gravy sauce? No wonder you think it's great. I think I've heard of it before too. My cousin, who is in the UK, says the one with onion sauce is the better.
I think we can try Yorkshire pudding together one day. I found a restaurant on the web called Fat Dog.
It has 3 Michelin stars. Although it originally served food similar to French food, nowadays the chefs prepare special dishes. It is known for dishes such as bacon ice cream and Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland looks amazing. The comments of the Fat Dog is all positive. It seems like it has opened for a long time, so it should have a good reputation.
You're right. It first opened in the 16th century. Not many restaurants can run for that long.
We have already talked about several main dishes, so I want to introduce some desserts, such as rice pudding.
Rice pudding is made with rice, sugar, and milk. Some parents will cook for their children when they are sick.
That's great. You can make it for your family. It is quite easy. There is another kind of dessert called truffle. It's easy to make it too. It's a kind of sponge cake with layer of fruit, jelly, and custard. These ingredients can get in the market easily. After you have designed it, put it in the fridge for an hour. If you add fruit wine, the taste of the fruit will be stronger.
Well, I really do hope our team gets a chance to visit Vietnam. Thanks for listening.
That was such a wonderful speech. I've learned so much already. Now, let's welcome Team 2, who will be presenting on sports, fashion, music, and movies.
Hi, I'm Benny from 8 Club.
And I'm Jackie from 8 Hill. Today, we're going to talk about some popular naked sports from the UK.
After hearing all these delicious dishes, it has left me very hungry. And that's exactly how I feel after playing basketball.
That's true. Benny, didn't you say that your favorite basketball player is from the UK?
That's right. There's a British player called OJ Anunoby who surprised everyone. He's the starting 5 in Toronto Raptors and helped the team win the championship last year.
Cool. How about some other popular sports from the UK?
In this case, the most popular one is the cricket.
Cricket? Isn't that a kind of insect?
Yeah, but we're talking about sports. And cricket isn't just a sport. It's an important part of the culture in England.
Really? Tell me more about it.
Cricket is the main sport in summer in England. People from all levels can join the game. Every year, the British team participates in the International Cricket Championship, Single-Day International Cricket Tournament, 2020 competition, and the most popular one, Asia's Cup.
We don't play this sport in Taiwan, so how do we actually play it?
First, people across will toss you a ball. Then, you have to hit the ball as far as you can with the bat, and that's how you win points.
That doesn't sound hard. By the way, do you know about equestrian?
Yes, it's a kind of sport that's related with the horses, right? Hey, is it a native sport in England?
Yes, of course. England is the best at equestrian. There are 1.2 million families in England alone that have their own horses, and everyone in the family has to know how to ride a horse. The race is divided into 3 parts: horse racing, show jumping, and cross country. It sounds easy, but it's actually very hard.
I don't think it's a good sport because it's cruel to the poor horses. They are really overworked.
Although it's cruel to those horses, but everyone in England is crazy about it.
Alright, I guess I just have to accept this. Hey, do you know other popular sports in England?
I know snooker is popular in England.
Hey, what's that? Tell me about it.
Snooker is a kind of sport that is a little bit like billiard, but there are more balls on the table and most of them are red. First, you need to hit balls into the hole with the white ball. Then, you can start hitting other colored balls into the hole to score more points. And do you know that the top snooker players are mostly British? Because everyone in England is crazy about it.
Wow, you make me want to play snooker too.
Definitely, we can play the game together next time.
Thanks for listening.
Good evening.
I'm Rui from 8th Cup.
I'm Eva from 8th Cup.
When it comes to word Britain, everyone's first impression must be of the elegant and noble royal family.
The British royal family is supported by the people and also deeply affects the British people.
British elegance comes from its territorial composition and also from religion, democracy, and freedom. Traditionally, Britain does not belong to Europe, but European culture has greatly influenced it.
First, let's introduce the elegant English afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is not only a popular lifestyle for British people, but also a sense of fashion.
The popularity of English afternoon tea started in the Victorian era. The traditional dinner in the United Kingdom started at 8 p.m. So they had a happy hour from around 4 p.m., drinking hot tea with small snacks, which was accompanied by complicated etiquette. This has become the British tea fashion.
Black tea with milk, sugar and honey, and a small snack on a 3-tier plate. While enjoying the afternoon tea, it's an important way to enjoy the delicate tableware.
Let's talk about British slow fashion, which is one of the best porcelains in the world. Wedgwood is the national heritage of the United Kingdom and is also loved by the British royal family. Wedgwood is the most durable porcelains in the world. That's because each piece contains 51% and more bone meal. I really like the baby blue products of the Jasper Relief series. Each one is handmade, with special and elegant patterns on it.
Compared with the simple and elegant Wedgwood, Royal Albert is an English country design style, with roses being the main feature. Princess Diana's favorite was the Old Country Roses series, with noble and beautiful roses pattern, just like herself. However, English afternoon tea is not only about tea, tea sets, and snack. This is a fashion style as well.
Savile Street in London is a famous street which has many stores that specialize in tailor suits. It takes about 3 months to make a suit, and it needs to be fitted 3 times as well. Savile Street has the oldest tailor-made suits, the most expensive ones, and the ones loved by members of the British royal family.
In British fashion, the most attractive thing is the Scottish lattice, which is a mixture of a cute and rebellious style and a noble punk rock style. In Scotland, different plaid patterns represent different regions, like a family crest. There are thousands of lattice styles registered in the United Kingdom today. Burberry, Coscotton, and Vivienne Westwood also use plaid designs as their signature designs. The United Kingdom is a country with a long and rich history of diverse culture, with a variety of literature, art, music, and food characteristics. The United Kingdom is really worthy of our in-depth understanding. Thanks for your attention.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Nancy from 18.
And I'm April from 18. Today, we are going to introduce some music from the United Kingdom.
Hey, Errol, do you know where the famous singer Ed Sheeran comes from?
Maybe from the US?
No, actually, he's from the UK. Ed Sheeran is a British singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor who was born in England on February 17, 1991. His father is an art curator and lecturer, while his mother works as a jewelry designer.
We all know that he is a really famous and talented singer. But did people know about his talent when he was younger?
Yes, they did. Ed sang at a local church choir at the age of 4 and learned how to play the guitar later. At school, Ed has played a natural gift for music. A 2004 school report described him as a natural performer, and his classmates also voted him most likely to be famous.
That's not hard to guess. His first album, Plus, was released on September 12, 2011. By the end of 2011, it became the second best-selling debut album in the world. He's also created music with other famous singers, such as Taylor Swift and the famous band One Direction.
One of the most iconic bands of all times came from England, the Beatles.
The Beatles were an English rock band from Liverpool that became popular in the 1960s. The band was comprised of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. The band they briefly called themselves the Black Jacks, but then changed their name to the Beatles.
Led by primary songwriters Lennon and McCartney, the Beatles built their reputation playing at clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg.
In 1962, they released their first song, Love Me Do, which peaked at number 17 on the record retailer chart.
In 1963, the Beatles released their first album, Please Please Me. This was the album that brought them their fame.
As their popularity spread, they were greeted with enthusiastic screaming fans at each show.
With more songs and albums released, the Beatles kept breaking the record, with their reputation just growing and growing. Furthermore, they also received 7 Grammy Awards, 4 Brit Awards, an Academy Award, and 15 Ivor Novello Awards. Time magazine named them among the 20th century's 100 most important people.
Even though the Beatles has disbanded, their songs are enjoyed today.
You can say that again.
Next, let's welcome Justin and Colin,
who will talk about movies and cartoons of the UK.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Justin from AP.
And I'm Colin from AP.
Today we're going to talk about movies and cartoons from the UK.
First, we're going to introduce the Teletubbies, a children's television series.
Most of you might have watched it when you were little.
It focuses on 4 little multicolored creatures with unique shaped antennas on their heads.
The main character is Tinky Winky, which has a purple skin and has a triangular antenna on his head. He almost always carries a red bag.
Dipsy is green and he is named after his antenna, which resembles a dipstick.
Lola, which is yellow, and Paul, the shortest of all.
Lastly, their guardian, which is the sun, Nunu.
There isn't a real plot, as I stated before. It's just a kid's show. Now let's skip to the next one.
Thomas and Friends, a British-American children's television series, which first aired in 1953.
It's about adventures of trains and road vehicles that lives on the mystery island of Solar.
The cartoon was based on stories that the author told to entertain his son.
Next, which is the most popular one right now, is Peppa Pig.
The show first aired in 2004, with now a total of 6 seasons and over 500 episodes.
This series is showing 180 territories and 1,000 over worlds.
It has been nominated as the best preschool animation 9 times.
There are even video games with a character from the show.
There are many other famous cartoons from the UK such as
Shaun the Sheep,
Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, my favorite when I was little,
Bob the Builder,
Mr. Bean.
and the Octonauts.
Now, let's take a look at some widely known movies which are based on their novel.
Harry Potter.
Correct.
This story takes place in a magical world full of wizards and crazy creatures.
Our main character is Harry, obviously.
And the evil Dark Lord Voldemort.
The story started by introducing Harry and how his parents died in a battle against Voldemort. But when he was about to murder baby Harry, the curse that he shot bounced back onto himself.
However, the evil Dark Lord didn't die because he put his spirits into 7 objects known as the Horcruxes.
Then, baby Harry grew up in his uncle's house until the age of 9, when he was invited to study in the school of witchcraft and wizardry called Hogwarts. In Hogwarts, Harry, Ron, and Hermione became friends.
Dumbledore, who is Harry's favorite teacher and also the principal of Hogwarts, sensed that Voldemort was returning. So he allowed Snape, a teacher that Harry disliked the most, to teach Harry and to train him into a better wizard.
Fortunately, Harry and his friends found all the Horcruxes, which resulted in Harry winning the final battle against Voldemort, and also realizing that Snape was actually a spy for Dumbledore.
Isn't it a fantastic story?
Yeah, and it has been my favorite UK novel and movie ever since it came out.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you to both teams for your wonderful presentation. We have reached the most exciting part of the night. It's time to announce a winner.
And the winner is Team 2. Congratulations, you've just won a trip to the UK.
It was such a hard decision because both teams did really well.
However, winning isn't the most important thing, right, Cynthia?
It sure isn't. All of us learning new things is what is important.
I hope that all of you have learned something today. Thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation. We wish you a wonderful evening.